Hey folks, it's been a little while since I've gotten any videos out. Thought I'd do a quick shop update. I've been mostly working on the suspension and the brakes of the Spitfire. The front suspension is completely rebuilt. Basically all of the moving parts are replaced, all of the control arms, all that stuff is still there, original, new bearings, new bushings, everything. Still got to go through and tighten everything down, but that's not really a big deal, just tighten and torque everything. I've got both sides done. I'm waiting on some brake pads. Been really fighting brake pads that I've been able to get locally. They don't fit. Similar story in the back end. I didn't rebuild the whole suspension back here, but I did do the drum brakes and the new hubs. The new drums don't actually fit over these pads I've got, which are again sourced, here in the States. One thing I found that was kind of fun was a literal wire nut. I'm not sure. Instead of using a nut and bolt, they used a bolt and a coat hanger to hold one of the control arms in. So I'm gonna have to fix that. It's not a big deal. Trunk of the car, since I started getting suspension parts in, I haven't really worked on this at all, so I've still got to fix all the wiring back here. I've got the lenses off right now and changed out bulbs, but I need to double check all the wiring. One big news is I've kind of tidied up this area of the workshop. This is my dirty working area, so I rebuilt this big Sprunner drill press from probably the 50s or 60s over the winter. Unfortunately, the motor had some damaged bearings in it, and what I replaced them with didn't work, so I ended up pretty much smoking that motor. So I've got a brand new 3/4 horse motor, which is pretty huge for this small of a drill press. It's just a 14-inch drill press. I've also put down some countertop material here. It's just extra plywood and then double stick taped some cheap veneer laminate countertop on, so it's super easy to clean up with brake part cleaner or degreaser or whatever. I did pick up, I've had this little ultrasonic for several years now. A friend gave it to me. I picked up this big guy. It's 10 liters, and it can run for at least an hour and a half continuously. I think it might actually have a 2-hour timer, and it's just been a workhorse. I can get most parts of the car in there that I've been working on, and some degreaser, and it does an amazing job. Shot a video down here yesterday, and I've got to pick up all the tools, but I got this side suspension wheel hub all put together, again waiting on brake parts. I do like to work out of a couple of tool bags. I've got lots of big toolboxes here, but I work alone, so 90% of the time, so it's nice to have everything within arm's reach. I'll pick everything back up, put them back in the toolboxes on the rails and everything, and that'll be good. This is my new little highly engineered tripod or monopod or whatever. It's an old drum brake, drum brake, and a little articulating camera mount that I picked up on Amazon, pretty cheap. I've got new master cylinders in. I had to repaint these brackets, and I just hit this with some cheap spray paint because it was pretty rusted up. The plan is to repaint this car, but I didn't want to have an exposed rust where I could help it. Engine, I haven't really done anything. Let's see, what else we got? Today I'm going to be starting, I've got to get the center tunnel out of this car. Sorry, there goes something with a big cam in it. I've got to get the center tunnel out and rebuild the shift knob, or the shifter bushings, and change the clutch slave cylinder. That hopefully isn't going to be a huge deal, but it needs to be done. I'm still debating on if I'm going to patch the floors or put in new floor pans. It's going to be $500 or $600 for new floor pans, versus maybe $75 and some welding time to patch them, for now at least. So maybe I'll just patch these up for now, slap some rust proofing on them, and call it good for a few years until I get the body off the frame. I've also been kind of debating the seats in this car are fantastic. I love them. They do need new foam and horsehair, but I don't have, 90% of the interior. I've got one door card and that's it. Obviously, carpet I'm going to buy, but the door cards and stuff I kind of tempted to make myself. I think it'd be a fun learning experience and probably save me $500 if I did those, and the panels for the trunk out of some hardboard and some automotive vinyl. One big thing is obviously I've got a lot fewer parts that are waiting to be installed. So this is my big workbench for woodworking that I've got covered with hardboard, and basically the only parts that are left to go on the car are the drums. I've got the other one off to the side. It needs to be repainted after some messing around with it. The front calipers, I have to get the pads in. I'm going to have to modify some pads that I'm getting from England. I've been kind of organizing things some more. It's a little bit of a mess right now, but this is a bunch of hardware that I've been buying from a supplier here in the States. And basically I've spent several $100s on hardware for this car, but as bulk hardware, grade 8 SAE stuff. But it gets expensive because I kind of have to just shotgun it and buy a ton of stuff, and that means I end up with a lot that I don't need right now and end up missing stuff. So the plan now is to kind of, whenever I rebuild stuff, if I can buy the bolts locally or through the distributor, great, and if not, I'll have extra stuff in the other room for spares. Yeah, you can walk in here now, so that's nice. The floor is still pretty much a mess, but I spent last weekend just cleaning. So I've got this is a parts washer here on the left. It's just running degreaser. Actually, I think it's empty right now. This is a Vapor Rust, which is amazing, and I've got a stainless steel bucket in there, so that once I get something cleaned, I can soak it in that overnight, and it takes most of the rust off and can be wire brushed and cleaned up a little bit. This is just my welding table. Right now I've just got a piece of cardboard on there because it's got slots in it. I did move, this is my bench vise I've had for about 6-7 years. It was really one of the first things I bought when I got my first Beetle even, or my second Beetle when I moved in here. I'm a big proponent of your vise not being able to move, and right now it is. But that's because I have a brand new vise on order that's going to go over here, kind of where this stuff is probably, or slightly to the left. It's a lot bigger. It's a 5-inch wide vise, but it has a lot more throw to it, and it's forged steel instead of cast iron. I'm super excited about that. Even though I'm replacing literally all the hardware I can on this car, I've been sort of hoarding stuff, and this has come in handy for parts that are inferior to the originals. My thought was with this car is parts are ludicrously cheap, so buy everything new, and that ended up not working out for me. Some of the parts I bought new have not fit, and I'm not sure of the quality. I'm not going to say who the distributor is of that stuff because that's not what I'm here for, but I just want to warn people that sometimes it's better to rebuild stuff than to replace it. This is my bucket brake stuff right now. So I've got some new shoes for the back. Not sponsored or anything, but I think these are going to work. They're a little bit thinner than the ones that I have that I've been trying to fit as far as the backing material, and I might even try grinding the ends of these or filing them just maybe 1/8 of an inch smaller so that these take less of a circumference to fit. These are some new pads for the front, which are, I've used this brand before and I really like them on the Mercedes, but these are their stock replacement where I had performance ones, and I've actually got sort of a race / street spec pads on order from England that I'd like to use. This car is not exactly safe, so having any extra braking capacity is a good thing. I do have new tires, and the wheels cleaned up really well. I'm pretty happy with those. These are cheapo tires, but they'll last for several years, and the car's not going to be on the road much for probably 3 or 4 years, It's not going to be a fully restored car for several years. So it's sort of silly to buy really nice tires and then have them dry rot sitting on the car. I do need to, I got a little impatient. This is just like a cardboard or asphalt board. I don't know what it is, but it's there, but it's in bad shape, and I kind of banged it up trying to get to some of the bolts. So I need to replace that. I don't know what I want to use. Aluminum would be the logical choice, but with aluminum and steel, you have to worry about galvanic reaction, galvanic corrosion. I don't want to mess with that, so I'm thinking maybe ABS, and maybe ABS with some heat reflection material on there. So I've got all the parts of these. I'm going to trace them out, and I've got a big bandsaw and stuff. I can make new ones pretty easily. But I think that those are mostly there right now as a splash guard. Well, I don't have a roof, so this car getting wet isn't really an issue. There goes my neighbor in his MX-5, I think. Anyway, his Mazda. So, yeah, that's pretty much all that's been going on. I've just been really focusing on getting my workflows better. I'll show some videos at some point of how I restore parts, because, you know, even for the front suspension, yeah, the rotors are new, the springs and shocks are new, but all of these control arms, the wheel hub, the adapter for the spindles, that's all original. So I've had to wire brush and paint that stuff and degrease it, and I've been improving that process slowly. I've put in new sway bar mounts, everything there. I've mentioned this in another video, but I'm going to redo the steering box fairly soon. I'm just trying to decide if I want to put a quick ratio or slow ratio box in it. If I go with the quicker ratio, it's going to take more oomph to turn the car, because I don't have power steering. I don't have power anything. So it's just a matter of leverage and ratios. I don't have a roof for the car yet. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I'd like to get a hardtop for it, but I may just run it as a true speedster with no roof at all and park it in the garage for now. Take this bow out. Anyway, thanks for watching.